On this episode of the Bender Hour.
Just transferred here from Kill Patient Hospital.
I'm a world-renowned heart surgeon. Like it hits you all at once when you're like in front of like the open cavity.
Like it was really funny, like, you know, doing all this and getting this far, but now that like you see this person's like really about to die.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
I sold my soul to Mobile Strike. Arnold like violated his contracts.
They took him down. Like, you wouldn't eat like two like big sloppy bull testicles like laid on a plate.
Not really.
They
wake him
died
up
already.
to kill Captain America, and Captain America just killed himself.
If
So-
the purpose of life is to spread your genes, then I was a very successful life.
And I will die a sad old man. So, you told me that you had a subject that may or may not qualify as proper discussion.
We're gonna start with that.
Why not?
So what, what I was thinking was Dreamy Bull, right?
Okay.
Do you think he actually has, like, his orgasms are actually that strong, or do you think he hams it up?
He's gotta ham it up. Like, you gotta remember, he's a performer, first and foremost.
That
Like,
is true.
It's his job to ham it up and really fake it.
But on one side too, you don't know, like, he could be like saving it up. He could have just like really sensitive dopamine receptors in his head, like.
I don't buy that.
It's possible that that's just how he is when he nuts.
It would be a real like 1 in a million case, because you're talking about a guy who, you know, does this repeatedly. So like eventually those dopamine receptors, those synapses are gonna wear out. They're gonna thin out.
But we don't know how often he does it. That's the other thing too, because I don't know about you, but I'm not an avid watcher of Dreamy Bull,
No.
so I don't know how often he's filming himself in that position. For all we know, he might be just doing it like once a month. You know, that wouldn't like burn out his dopamine receptors.
With the amount of variations of videos that I've seen of his content, like it has to be like a decent amount of videos. If I'm still seeing like ones that have new content in them, he does this regularly. It's
You
like
don't
a
know
second
how
life.
big of a backlog he has.
I don't, but I can only assume.
I can't believe that he has like public, like normal public accounts. I follow them too on Facebook and Instagram. He like portrays himself as like a like a fitness guy, like a personal trainer type thing. Like,
You know, just
And,
it's
you
not
know,
what
like,
he's
he-
doing behind closed
like
doors.
musician and personal trainer is usually like in his like tag, like his bio or whatever. So the fact that he's trying to like do like a normal shit as well while he has that up, like I wonder like if he knows how many people are following him because of his streamy bullshit, because he has a decent amount of followers on both accounts.
He's gotta know.
I wonder if he's thinking like, oh, people want to see my fitness, or if he like knows that most of these people are here
Like
because they watch him fucking come.
there's no way his inner circle like doesn't, you know, like share that stuff with him. Like, like all of his stuff just like blew up over the past year, so he's gotta know. You can't just keep a blind eye to that, especially when you're trying to live like a real two-face, like dual life. You can't be the guy who's, you know,
His
looking at you
alter
wild-eyed,
ego.
ejaculating on a camera, and also pretending to be a fitness instructor like in the real world.
And musician, you can't take that away from him. He's pretty good with the saxophone.
I guess so, unless it's like fake.
He's faking the saxophone.
Yeah, you know, it's like Epic Sax Guy from like 7 years ago. Remember that thing?
I do not.
You don't remember that?
I don't think so.
Oh god. It was like that concert, and you know that guy comes out with a saxophone and he's clearly not playing it, and it's just like the
Is
music
it
and the
always like
track.
humping the
Yeah,
saxophone?
he's
Oh,
like he's
okay.
like air humping while he's playing the saxophone. But,
I do remember that.
yeah, but he's clearly not playing it for real. Could just be like a, maybe got inspired like 7 or 8 years later and decided that would be
Inspired to fake it.
that'd be his public persona. And when I was not, I mean, I don't know what I was expecting really, but I wasn't expecting like, the Dreamy Bull to to be name dropped.
Now the question is, do you think that can be put up?
Probably.
Okay. It'll stay then.
I would imagine so. Now, I don't think I ever brought this one up. It was like something I wanted to discuss at some point, and I guess it just like stop me if I have brought this up. If you remember, I'd seen these pictures and videos where it's just like people that they're like they basically pretend that they fit in like a location. And I guess an example is, it was this dumb picture I'd seen on Twitter at some point where these two guys put up a poster in their local McDonald's that looked exactly like a normal like McDonald's poster, like some kind of advertisement, but it just had them in it, like giving a thumbs up, and they were just counting how many days that this poster had gone without being taken down, and it was just staying up there. Nobody knew any better. So the question is, like, what are the limits of what overt confidence can accomplish, of like nobody questioning if it looks like you belong there? How far do you think you could push that envelope?
Pretty fucking far. Because people are just conditioned to not question anything. And I know what, we haven't talked about this, by the way.
Okay.
And I know, like, I think I know what video you're talking about. I'm trying to think, because I've definitely seen the one of people putting pictures up, but I think I've also seen one of people just, like, dressing up in a certain way and, like, going into, like, a certain place that they shouldn't be.
Yes.
And getting away with it.
I've seen videos of people dressing up in like a reflective vest and hard hat, just carrying a ladder, walking into like a movie theater. Like you can do whatever the hell you want when you're wearing that, because today, like, most people are not confrontational in the least. So even if they think you don't belong there, they really don't want to like say anything. Especially today when, like, just, I don't know, like, people are caring less and less about their jobs, so they have less of an inclination to get up and stop you.
Yeah, if you're making minimum wage, there's no reason to stop that guy.
No, the only person that's gonna like reach through the drive-through window and start choking you are gonna be those old dinosaurs that have been working there for like 30 years. They just have this unnecessary view that their job like needs to be defended like their home.
This brand loyalty.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist.
Job that doesn't care about them.
Yeah, this thing that just doesn't exist in like later generations. Most people just know better.
It's funny too that some people will do that, like fight for that shit. But most companies, like when you get the job, they tell you that like if someone's like robbing or taking something, like you're not really supposed to stop them.
You're supposed to let them do what you want, then like file an incident report like later.
Like, why would you stop them?
This
job is like, it's not like you're gonna get a bonus for stopping them.
No, most people see that situation, and if you still think that it's worth, defending the interest of these huge companies, you think like, oh, I get to be the hero, and then like you're just like dead. I don't know. People really just shouldn't be bothering anymore. That's how I see it. But
and the question is, how far do you think you could get trying to pull something like that?
Well, we'd already seen
what do you think the highest echelon that you could take it to is?
So if we gotta like think about it logically here. So we saw, fairly recently, like that game show awards, where there was like that kid who just walked up in a suit, looked like he belonged.
Miyazaki.
Yes, sneaked up with Miyazaki. No one said a word when he was walking up with them, because he had the body language with them. He was walking and clapping at the same time, standing behind them, stride for stride. Stands up there for that entire 3-minute speech from them, and then it wasn't until after he got done talking that they got him. So like, as long as you just stay in the moment, I feel like if he didn't say anything, he might have been able to get away with it to a degree. Like maybe they would have like put out like a search warrant for him like afterwards or something, but he could have gotten away with it if he hadn't said something so like insanely stupid. But I'm thinking probably the highest you can get away with, maybe, is if, like, maybe, like, you faked getting into, like, the presidential press pool. like maybe if you walked in with, like a suit and, like, a fake press badge, you know, they pat you down, you're not, like, you know, they don't have anything on you besides, like, I don't know, like a phone or something. Maybe you can, like, get in there, like, listen to Biden talk.
I feel like you need to get, like, your press badge certified, though.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't just let any Joe Schmo, like, news organization get in there.
That's true, but, you know, there's gotta be a way. There's always a way.
I think the way is to just find, like, the CNN reporter, like, getting out of their car and just, like, drag him into a back alley, choke him out, take their pass.
Take their pass. It's like, I don't even intend to do anything bad. You just want to go in there and just, like, be a part of it.
Be a nuisance.
Well, it's because I'm thinking, 'cause there's got to be a fine balance between, like, the highest you could possibly take this type of action, and I guess shit, how do I even phrase this? Like, the highest that you can take this kind of action, but also one that is actually plausible to sneak into, because, yeah, I guess the press pool, they're gonna have a lot of background checks. Yeah, Secret Service background checks. There's probably a lot of, like, hoops and hurdles you have to do to get in there. But even then, they usually call those press pools on fairly short notice, I feel like. So there's got to be at least, like, some kind of, you know, like, they really, like, speed up the process, maybe, just for the sake of getting things done. Like, they don't expect anything bad to happen, so maybe they start to slack off a little bit. They don't search as well as they should, maybe. Like, maybe they just kind of, like, gloss over, like, your badge, and they think, like, you know, I think I've seen that one before, you know, go on in. Meanwhile, like, you're, like, sweating, there's, like, sweat beads, like, on your head.
Meanwhile, you're wearing, like, a Hawaiian t-shirt and, like, cargo shorts. You very obviously shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that one asshole wearing just, like, a graphic t-shirt sitting up at the front. You know, Trump's talking, he's like, yes.
It's not even a Bible.
You know, he's like, the recent strike against ISIL targets in Iraq has been, and they, like, stops for a second, points you, nice shirt.
I like this guy. Ever seen him before?
Have we seen this guy before?
Get him the hell out of here, will you please?
Just waiting for that. It's like all of a sudden he goes like, ah! And, like, the camera zooms into his eyes and he has, like, that Jimmy Neutron brain blast. Like, get out!
Get him the hell out of here, will you please? Get out! Oh!
Like, maybe the better question would be how far you can take something just by, like, dressing up for the role. And I guess you're allowed to take one object to really sell the fit.
It's definitely gotta be like a bank, like, headquarters that you could get into if you just dress really sharp.
You have to attend, like, this meeting with the top 100 billionaires. You just get in there, you dress sharp, you're having, like, small talk in the lobby. You know, you're really laughing with them, telling a couple jokes of your own. They can kind of tell you're, like, new blood, you're, like, new rich blood, but, you know, they're willing to let it slide. And you just get in there, you start, like, playing games on your phone.
Start playing Angry Birds.
Like, loudly playing Angry Birds on your iPad. Like, you pull up, like, Minecraft Pocket Edition, you start breaking glass at, like, the highest volume.
Round bricks.
All those, like, old men just look at you. Their eyes, like, dilate vertically like fucking lizards, and they all point at you.
Their tongues start, like, slithering out of their mouths.
Like, 5 of them just, like, their arms are seed, and they actually start slithering across, like, the large oak table to get to you.
It's like that Japanese Burger King commercial.
Yeah.
You know exactly
I know
what
exactly
I'm
what you're
talking
talking about. Yeah, Be Like Snake. That fucking song. Yeah, I mean, there's probably a lot you can sneak into just by dressing sharp. Because, you know, I mean, really, who's gonna be that confrontational?
I mean, if you're dressing sharp, then people know that, like, they shouldn't, mess with you in the first place.
Yeah, if you're dressing
They
sharp,
don't know what insurance you got, what pull you have.
if you're wearing nice clothes, then that already, like, sells the idea that you, like, prepared for this. Like, it kind of eases the mind a little bit. You think, like, okay, if this guy went through all the effort of actually putting on, like, a suit, dress shirt, tie, like, nice shoes, he's probably doing this legitimately. And that's what really sells it. You know, it's social engineering. It's all about playing up the human psyche. Yeah, same thing with putting on that high visibility shirt and holding a ladder and then just like walking into a sensitive area. And you know, it can really be as simple as just you know, you put on that suit, you walk into like Bank of America, you know, you have like a name tag on that it has your name, but it's not, you know, that someone's gonna read the name tag. It's just that they kind of see it in your peripheral vision, and they think like, oh, this guy like works here. And you know, they go through the door, and you're like, oh, can you hold that open for me for a second? They don't even think twice about it. Now you're in the building. Like you just got into the employee only section.
I think I know like what we need to do. You need to like just buy like a lab coat and like scrubs, and then just like sneak your way through like a open back door of like a hospital. Like, yes, like I'm Dr. Shortmeyer. Like I just transferred here from fucking Los Angeles.
Just transferred here from Kill Patient Hospital.
I'm a world-renowned heart surgeon.
That's what you gotta do. You know, you dressed up like a fucking doctor, and you just walk into the first like room you got. Like there's like, you know, fucking open heart surgery in this room. Like everyone kind of like went out for a break. You know, like a little smoke break. You walk in there, you take the heart out, and you start walking down the hall. And you're kind of like playing hot potato. You're going hot, 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 hot. Like kind of like speed walking down the hall.
And then if someone stops you, you stand there and you hold it and you kind of like squeeze your hand, like incognito, because like I really gotta get into the room. Like it's still going.
Yeah, it's like, why isn't that thing in like an ice box? Out of my way! I gotta bring it to one. I gotta bring it to one. Out of the way. And they just walked out of this building, and now you got like a $90,000 like heart to sell onto the black market.
I was even thinking of stealing organs. I was thinking of just actually performing like open heart surgery on someone. Doing
the surgery like it's a fucking like Fallout New Vegas like skill check.
Like, oh god. Like it hits you all at once when you're like in front of like the open cavity.
Like it was really funny, like, you know, doing all this and getting this far, but now that like you see this person's like really about to die.
Oh shit.
Oh boy.
Like doctor, you only have a limited amount of time before his anesthetics wear off. Like you need to get to work here. Like
it's like, oh okay.
Oh shit.
You start like picking up a tool. It's like, doctor, your gloves, right?
Right. Don't you think you should put a mask on? Like, oh.
No. You know, is he under anesthetics? Not yet. I mean, I've played Surgeon Simulator. You just gotta cut like 5 pieces and the heart comes flying out.
Yeah, then you just drop the new one in and it's just fine. Or you could just be like that one, like, did you ever hear that story of the African surgeon in like, I think in like Kenya or some shit, who
like the brain
performed,
surgery?
Yeah, like the 5 successful brain surgeries, and then people found out he wasn't actually a doctor.
What was he
had
doing?
He had never been to medicine school in the first place. He like faked credentials and got a job in a hospital and then performed like actual successful surgeries. And then eventually he got arrested because people realized that he wasn't actually a doctor.
You know, it's certainly, you gotta like earn your wings, you know, certainly if you actually performed a real one.
Yeah. It wasn't even just a real one, like he did it multiple times.
It's either he knew what he was doing or he was like one lucky
the
bastard.
Luckiest man on the world.
Or maybe it's not as hard as they make it out to be.
It's like rocket science. It's not nearly as complicated as people make it out to be.
Yeah. They're just lying to really like hype themselves up to go, I'm a brain surgeon.
I swear, like, this is way above your head.
And, maybe that does have some truth behind it, because if you've ever seen those, like, maybe, like, videos that they show, like, of the process of some types of brain surgery, it really does seem like the easiest shit, where they just, they cut out, like, a square-sized, like, hatch out of, your skin. They do the same thing to, like, the layers of your skull. They use this little vacuum tool to, like, suck up the tumor, and then just put it all back in place like a Lego. It's like, oh, crazy. That's
that easy, huh?
It's like, oh, like, that's what the insurance bill just, like, asked for, like, $300,000 for? I don't think so. Like, I think, like, 2 kids with a drive could pull that off. Like, I could probably do it if you asked me, like, and I felt up to it.
I mean, if those, like, that African tribe can do it too. You know what I'm talking about? Like, that one African tribe that actually, like, does tumor removals.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Only bad thing for those guys is they don't have the technology to put the skull back in place, so for the rest of the people's lives, they just have, like, a missing piece of skull.
That's the price you
They
gotta
have to,
pay.
like, wear special hats, but...
That's the price you gotta pay for not dying. And that's usually why in, like, actual brain surgery, they take out the skull cap in a certain way so that they can screw it back in once they're done. And I guess in that way, if you ever miraculously needed the exact same type of surgery, they could just open up the door, finish where they left off.
It's like a little trap door.
Yeah. I mean, it's like just held in by 3 or 4 screws, so that's all they need to do. Pull out, like, the Phillips head. And just get your brain back open.
Wouldn't the bone, like, fuse back into place eventually?
I have no idea. I really don't know.
I mean, that'd be like if you broke your arm, like, if the bone never, like, fused back, so you just had, like, 2 separate arm pieces.
Just, like, making more bones.
Pretty sure the skull can, like, I would imagine it could fuse back together.
Maybe. Really funny if it didn't. And you're held together by screws, and, like, every time you walk through a fucking metal detector, you're just causing problems. But I would say, yeah, I think, going back to that original idea, yeah, I think a hospital would probably be the most likely thing you could sneak into doing that. Just on the account of, like, the amount of nurses and accountants and shit, like, secretaries that don't really, care too much for security because they just never expect it.
And they're not really in the know.
Yeah.
Doctors move around all the time, so you could very easily be like, I just transferred in.
Yeah, you could easily play that off like I was just called in for, like, an emergency, surgery. It's like, sorry for the short notice. But, you'll hear stories, like, relating to, like, security in hospitals and, like, cybersecurity problems where all it takes is just someone dressed up in the right way to walk in and find, like, a computer that hasn't been logged off, which is basically all of them. And they just start stealing credentials, then you walk out. That has happened on a lot of different scenarios. And sometimes it even leads to those huge cases where, entire hospitals get ransomware attacks. Which has happened quite often now in the past 5 years. All because the secretaries just don't have basic, like, security concerns to log off when they're done. They just leave it open. Now anyone can just take your shit, drop one little USB drive into your computer and just snipe all of your information, walk out. I think that kind of shit can happen to, like, police officers too. They just leave their squad car, like, unlocked. Someone gets that little laptop that's always in, like, the fucking passenger seat, and then they're done. Took all that shit in, like, 5 seconds. Well, but enough about crime and how to get away with it. How about diving into police chases and how to get away with them?
Well, do you have any ideas?
Well, I'm not sure how many police chases you've seen.
Not too many.
I've seen a handful, and it always seems like you know, when you have a police chase, that naturally means that there's a helicopter overhead that's, you know, filming the whole thing. And it seems like if you got a helicopter up, it pretty much means you're never going to escape. Like, that's what it always seems like. Because you're not going to be able to, like, outrun this thing that can fly, like, fucking, like, 150 miles an hour. Like, over any terrain.
Mm-hmm.
But from what I've seen, I mean, the helicopter can only do so much. Like, he can put, like, a spotlight on you if it really needs to. But if you just drove to another, like, borough or something, where, like, the police weren't exactly, like, ready to intercept you, because, like, now it's no longer that other police's jurisdiction, you can actually get away with it in some cases, where, like, those police just weren't ready to get you. So now you're just driving around. It's only the helicopter that's, like, filming you. There's no cops. And now you have this massive lead on the police department. And now all it takes is for you to just, like, go under, like, an overpass, or, like, through a tunnel, drive through a suburban area with a lot of trees, and just get out and run.
Really been thinking about this, huh?
This is from something that I've gathered from watching police chases, because I've seen a handful. I've usually like to watch them when they're live, just because they usually end up, like, really funny. Because the narrators, they like to get into it. Like, they're excited. They're kind of like they get upset when it comes to an end. Like, I saw this one where the guy was saying, like, "Oh man, it's a real shame. This is, like, almost over. Like, I shouldn't be saying that." He's like a couple people could have died.
I think the simplest way to get out of like a chase like that, I think if you just installed like an ejector seat in your car, and just like you put like a brick on the gas pedal, like, no one's gonna be expecting the ejector seat.
But then what? You're gonna, like, fly up 6 feet, you know?
But you need like a Inspector Gadget one that shoots you like 20 feet in the air.
Well, then what's it gonna do?
It's gotta be like a 0 to 20, so you gotta really hope that like the cops don't see it happen.
So yeah, 0 to 20. You're just gonna shoot up. The helicopter camera's still watching you, and then you're just gonna fall 20 feet onto pavement.
Oh, let's say you gotta have like a parachute. It's like a.
Are there any
like a
parachutes?
jet ejector seat.
Are there any parachutes that are rated to deploy like sub 20 feet? I don't know if that's possible.
Put moon shoes on the bottom of the seat.
As someone who has genuinely owned moon shoes, that is not gonna help you. Those things honestly make you jump, like, lower. It was a fucking gimmick, and I was so disappointed when I first put those on. You know, the asshole commercial shows these kids, like, jumping, like, easily, like maybe like a foot and a half higher. But no, they're just massive shoes that are, like, twice the weight of, like, the kids that they're advertised for. I don't know what they were thinking, but it worked, I guess.
Our new plan for escaping a cop. You need that, like, that laser cutter thing that Nick Fury has in Captain America.
That's, like, not even fair, because you can escape anything with that.
That thing that can cut through, like, 20 feet of pavement and dirt.
Yeah. You imagine if, like, those, like, cops, like, if those, well, I mean, for that for one, but if, like, those cops that were using that battering ram that shatters window, like, each hit, like, the sheer pressure just, like, went through, like, Nick Fury's bones, and he started having, like, a heart attack.
The shockwave of it.
Yeah.
It's like an IED landing on a tank.
The overpressure killed Nick Fury. Like, they open up the car door, and he's not in there, and they just see him, like, half dead, like at the bottom of the car, where he'd only been able to carve out a little bit before his heart gave out. And that'd just be the end of him. I guess the movie would go on as normal, because I don't really remember, like, what he brought to the table after that. He kind of just, like, went into hiding.
He had, like the always keep one eye open line, and that was about it after that.
Yeah, where he flips up his eye patch and reveals, like, a perfectly working second eye.
Why do they even have that stupid fucking thing in the first, like, that battering ram?
Yeah.
Why don't they just bring, like, an RPG and just blow the fucking car out?
I mean,
like,
I guess they just really wanted him alive or something.
They were trying to kill him.
How come they didn't have access to that laser tech?
Laser tech?
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
the thing that cuts to the floor.
yeah, because like weren't
They
they
could have
not
cut through the car.
yeah,
with it.
like weren't they not like shield agents like working for like Hydra?
Yeah, they were.
So they should have had that tech. They should have known. Like, there's no way Nick Fury was the only man who had that. Like, that seems like really important shit to have if you're like working for Shield,
Especially if you're
like a Hydra agent
Like you're a Hydra agent, and apparently your specialty is like
killing
breaking
Nick
and
Fury.
entering, like.
Yeah, you were selected on the task force to kill Nick Fury, and you were given this retarded battering ram that like deploys onto the ground and just like hits directly in front of it. Like, okay. I mean, maybe it would have been funny if they just like kept flipping the car. Like, they kept like pushing the car and rolling it around, said he couldn't
Rolling
like, get
around
his...
like a fucking Katamari Damacy ball.
Yeah,
like...
like Nick Fury can't get his bearings to like cut through the bottom. And it has like a camera like on the inside where you just hear him go like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
It's like him spinning around. Like the camera's still and him just spinning around.
Yeah, it's like gyroscoped. It's like focused on him while the car spins around him and he's starting to turn like green and he starts puking. I guess when it comes down to it, it would be a lot easier to stop Nick Fury if they just planned.
It would have been a lot easier to stop Nick Fury with like conventional weaponry instead of like stupid gimmicks. Like,
didn't they like shoot a rocket at his car in that chase scene?
No, the Winter Soldier shoots a magnetic landmine under his car.
You know, and isn't that like the least armored part of like any vehicle? How did that not kill him?
I guess it was just a concussion round or something. I don't know.
Winter Soldier sucked. It was like a fucking... It was just like a frag mine.
Yeah, when like the fucking Winter Soldier walked up to like rip the door off and finish the job, he should have just been blown into like 20 different pieces inside the car.
It's like real gore too.
Yeah, like he's unrecognizable.
They don't have the balls that like kill him in such a funny way. Because I only remember so much about that movie, like most of those movies. Only just the parts that are actually like worth making fun of, like that.
I think the funniest way they could have killed him would have been what we just said, with like them rolling the car over, but like instead of the scene taking place in like DC, it takes place in San Francisco. There's just like a giant hill that they rolled down.
They really got him on like the Pepsi Man, like Sonic Adventure hill.
Yeah. like a fucking like 5 to 10 minute extended scene of his SUV rolling down the giant Sonic Adventure hill.
And it miraculously goes straight down, so it gets like the fullest momentum.
Yeah.
Like after like the first 30 seconds, he had already fainted. From, like the G-force.
The blood loss to his head, like his heart can't pump against the G-force. He's knocked out.
Every 10 feet, there's another Winter Soldier like concussion mine under the car
to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, like it like kind of like gives the car a little bit of a jump. And each one just like breaks him into more and more pieces. He just like the car's in almost flawless condition at the end, but he's like ground beef inside. And then, you know, finally it cuts back and, you know, Captain America's in that elevator. And he doesn't even suspect anything. Like he doesn't even like look around. He's kind of like just thinking to himself as like all
like
these like
20 minutes further into the movie.
This is practically the next scene. It's the next scene that matters anyway. You know, he gets in the elevator, and you know, like everyone like funnels in, but he just doesn't like think anything of it. You know, he kind of like looks to his right. He's like, hey.
He sucks at his job.
He's like, hi. He notices that like that one guy's sweating. And he's like,
rain this weekend.
He looks at that one guy who's sweating. He's like, "Hey, you all right?" Yeah. And that's when like that huge guy from behind like grabs him, and is like snaps his neck.
So the guy behind, or like the guy in front of him, like punches him in the chest, and it's just this miraculous punch that like short circuits his heart, kills him instantly.
Like instead of using all those stupid like magnets to try to stick them to the the door, can you imagine if like, that big guy grabbed them from behind and they all just pulled out knives and started stabbing him?
Like Julius Caesar.
Yeah, like like considering how long he was restrained in that elevator. Like, I don't care how super he is. He's definitely, like, they're not gonna, like, stab him and have the knife crinkle like he's fucking Hercules or something.
I'm pretty sure he does get stabbed in, like, other scenes, too, so normal metal knives do work on him. Actually, you know, what was their plan with that, too? Like, not even just, like, their plan with Nick Fury, but their plan with Captain America. They were gonna use the magnetic handcuffs to, like, stick him to the wall, and then what? Like, batter him to death with like batons, because that's all they brought with them was just batons.
I don't know.
Why didn't a single one of them have like a gun or a knife?
Yeah, like a gun I can understand, because you know the last thing you want to do is like close quarters. Like it is a huge glass window. They don't want to break
they could
that.
have just like loaded it with hollow point. That
Or,
would
like,
put his ass down pretty fucking quick.
Or realistically, why wasn't there like a sniper on the other end of like the block, like waiting for him to use the elevator and then just like blow his head off? Like they knew what elevator he's gonna be in. They all funneled in. Like they wanted to lose. And the thing is, I don't really like remember like if there's any other cases like that in the movie. I just remember like in that scene, like at the top of the elevator, like jumps out. And he somehow, like, survives completely unscathed just by landing on his shield.
Alright, that's scene, but he manages to fight everyone off, but then, you know, like, the part where he opens the door and there's, like, a squad, so he closes it and then, like, really quickly cuts the wire for the elevator. That, but, like, the emergency brakes don't kick on. So the elevator...
It falls, like, 50 fucking stories, max speed.
The elevator just crumples as soon as it hits the ground.
He's just dead, like, mixed in with the meat of, like, 10 other men at the bottom of the elevator shaft. I think it would be really funny if he's, like, if he just wasn't able to, like, you know, break through the glass when he tries to dive out.
He just runs headfirst into the glass, like, bounces off.
Yeah, it's like 24-inch, like bullet-resistant glass.
Like, dislocates his shoulder.
Ah! Or like when he dives out, he accidentally just, like, doesn't land on his shield.
Like, belly flops.
He goes, cannonball! Jumps out. Lands about like 200 feet down and dies.
He does like the Dwayne Johnson, like Black Adam fall and just lands directly on his head.
Oh man. It's really becoming like another theme, just like fucking up these movies, just making them funnier.
Them waking up the Winter Soldier would have been like completely useless.
They'd
They'd wake him
died
up
already.
to kill Captain America, and Captain America just killed himself.
Alright.
Fucking does all that shit in World War II, gets frozen, wakes up 70 years later just for this to happen.
Just to get like just to get like stabbed repeatedly, and then he dives out the window and dies. I think the only way to make that scene any more like fucked up is if like he jumped out the window without his shield and he deployed like a meat wing like out of his arms, like glide down.
Like a Spider-Man, like, web wing, but just like, he's like a big fucking flying squirrel?
Yeah.
Like...
He's like a giant fruit bat. He's like a flying fox. He deploys these disgusting veiny skin wings. I guess I'd have to imply that he's like naked.
Yeah. it would make more sense for his like suit to have like wings.
Yeah, like all
Like
those
it's
people.
a fucking flight suit, but instead he just like rips his clothes off.
Well, it's because that's actually what all the people in the elevator did. Like, they're all trying to, like, get a piece of him. They're trying to, like, have their way with him. They're just ripping his clothes off. And he's like, no, no. Now he's, like, ass naked. And he just does that dive out. He's like, it's time to test these babies out. He gracefully soars down. But, like, they pull out all these, like, World War II spotlights, even though it's broad daylight, and, like, anti-air guns, and they start shooting him down.
They start shooting flak cannons at him.
The first one is a direct hit right to his chest. You know, and then, like, then we jump like another movie or whatever. I don't even know if this is like a different movie, but you know, there was that whole thing where like that whole stupid building in like Africa, or whatever, exploded with all those like diplomats in it, and it became like a huge problem. It's like the fucking Avengers let this building get bombed and gassed, and like 1 billion people died. So now we're thinking of like, you know, getting rid of the Avengers, like that whole plot point. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm trying to tell. Are you talking about like the Ultron movie where like Hulk like destroys that whole building, or are you talking about Civil War when the guy like blows up the UN?
God, it all blends together. I always remember that the whole plot point was that, like,
Wait, are you talking about like go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep? Are you talking about that scene?
No, we can get to that later. It's where like they know it's like the Winter Soldier. Like, is this still like the Winter Soldier movie, or if they have like the CCTV footage? It's like that's fucking Bucky.
It's Civil War. You're talking about when he blows up the UN and he kills like the Wakandan king.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's yeah.
I
Okay.
think it'd be really funny if just like he hardly was able to hide himself, and the first CCTV footage just confirmed that it was Bucky. Like, that's fucking
The thing
Bucky.
is, like, he wasn't even there. It was someone like wearing a mask.
It's really him. The only thing that really
And that pretty much is what happens. They like immediately pin it on him. Like, that doesn't change anything.
There isn't like any doubt. It was just him. Like, it zooms in onto his face like 8K, confirming it. If there's one thing that stuck with me on that movie, it was how, at least at the time, I felt like that like footage at the end of it showed like Bucky just like destroying fucking Iron Man's family in that car. I thought like back when I saw that, I thought like, you know, they depicted the scene awfully like realistic, with like, the CCTV footage like playing at like 60 frames a second. Like, it looked like a real fucking car crash. And I'm just thinking, like, it's kind of funny.
I just want to know why there was like a traffic camera
In the middle of nowhere.
in the middle of like a forest like road.
It was just like, you know, the kill Iron Man's parents like camera
Yeah.
set up there by Bucky.
And that's like just happens to be where like Bucky does it too.
Maybe he set it up so he can like keep the footage for later.
He set it up just so he could show Tony.
Yeah. And Captain America's like, he knew what he was doing. He killed your parents on purpose. And Bucky's like,
Throwing him under the bus.
yeah, Bucky's like, I loved every second of it. I'll do it again. Captain, Iron Man, he's like, oh, you son of a bitch. And he just, like, he, like, presses, like, a button on his arc reactor, and it starts, like, to melt down. And then he just blows up in a blinding white explosion that takes out, like, that entire base in, like, Antarctica, or wherever the fuck they were.
Him.
Yeah.
Just immediately gives into his anger.
And then it cuts back, Black Panther walks out. There's, like, that guy who's trying to control the Winter Soldier, like, old no-name that no one cares about. And he's sitting there. He's like, oh, you're the Black Panther. And, like, he just, like, shoots himself before, like, the Black Panther can stop him. He's like, I'm not going back to jail. Like, oh, damn it. Or maybe he pulled the gun, like, around in time and shot him.
It's just like he took his helmet off.
Yeah, like when he takes his helmet off, he okay, this is gonna be a bit of a stretch, but it's the only way I could explain like perfectly what am trying to envision for this recreation of the scene. Do you remember the Payday 2 cutscene where they break Hoxton out of prison?
shit.
It was like a fully like live action skit that they did.
I don't remember.
Because in that scene, I think like Dallas, you know, he's like a cop, like a female cop gets behind him and she puts a gun like to the back of his head and he's like freeze. She's like freeze, and she doesn't see that he has like a revolver, like pointed at her behind his coat. And he pulls the trigger and shoots through his coat and like blows her head off. And that's what I'm thinking that like he does to him. Like he just hears the footsteps coming from behind him. And he pulls out like a little like a mirror so he can angle the shot. He's like, "What are you doing with that mirror?"
Alright, that scene with Dallas like getting the cop to like put the gun on his head. When he shoots her, it causes all her muscles to tense up, and she pulls the trigger too.
Like it's slowly, camera pans down, it sees the revolver pointed at her, it cuts back, and you hear like.
He had no ammo.
Blows his head off. It's like, I said, it's payday, fellas. And all those like like that like 50 pounds of fucking like Semtex detonates and it kills all of them instead of just blowing up the wall to like free Hoxton. That was like the final golden era of that fucking game.
Yeah. Sad. It used to be fun.
I mean, I didn't mind like the stupid shit, you know, getting like, you know, Hoxton coming back and like John Wick. But, you know, then you start adding in like these like randos. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's like a dumb pick. I guess I don't mind that too much, but
They put Arnold in the game?
didn't they?
I don't know. Just said that they did. I was asking you.
I'm just now I'm like doubting myself. I can like look this up. I almost wanted to say like he was in the game to some degree. He's got to be. I don't even know. I just like briefly looked it up, but I didn't like see anything. I just see like there's like items in the game that like reference his movies. I don't know if he's actually in now. Like false memory.
Some more misinformation.
Yeah. I'm in Payday.
Fuck. What the fuck was that? What happened to my voice?
Hey, yo, yo, yo.
Yo, it's me, Arnold. I've been Payday. Let's kill some cops.
Yeah. Let's be a part of this game that hasn't been relevant in like 5 years.
I think we need a mobile strike on the bank.
Mobile Strike, yeah. That's the thing. You can't pay him any more than Mobile Strike's paying him.
Yeah, he signed a lifelong contract with Mobile Strike.
He didn't read
Anything he's in now, he has to mention Mobile Strike.
He didn't read the fucking contract. He didn't even bother letting his lawyers like overlook the fine print that said
Print that
he's
says
owned
we
by
own
them.
You.
Mobile
I
Strike.
sold my soul to Mobile Strike.
Yeah, that's what gets us like an advertisement.
When we get a Mobile Strike, like
Yeah.
a sponsorship.
Only problem is they tried giving us the same thing they gave Arnold.
Donald,
You know.
Mobile Strike.
He's in the room with us. Like we're in this like interrogation room, and he's like standing in the corner, like hands folded in front of him, and he's kind of like quietly mouthing like, "Don't Mobile do it."
I think I'd take a Mobile Strike sponsorship if they could secure like a Arnold as a guest, like the Arnold interview.
We'd like get him in here, and he just like wouldn't be interested. We'd be like talking to him, and then we'd like try to like he wouldn't say anything like, for like 30 minutes, and then we'd finally say like, "What do you think, Arnold?" He'd be like, "Yeah." It's like only on there just out of pure obligation.
That would still be like fucking hilarious.
We'd have to like spend the whole time like shitting on him, like really getting him mad.
Like he's not on the leave. He's contractually obligated to like be a part of this now, so he has to like stay and listen to what we say about him.
We'd, like abuse him, and then like finally we get him like kind of interested, like talking about like, maybe like one of his movies. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just that movie sucked.
That movie sucked.
That was easily one of your worst." Just like, oh. Fuck you, asshole.
Personally, for me, I think Sylvester Stallone was a much better star in the 80s.
Yeah, I think honestly it was just like most of your success was really just a fluke. Yeah,
You
right place
really
at the right
sucked
time.
as an actor.
Arnold, I could
You
beat the shit out of you in your prime.
You can hear his like heart beating through his chest. Like, he's getting really riled up.
He's breathing in like real heavily.
Why is your accent so fucking stupid?
Remember that guy drop kicked you like during that event you had? Remember that stupid noise you made when that guy drop kicked you? And you went like, oh. That's like the last of anything I've ever seen like about Arnold.
It's amazing that that guy didn't like break his back when he did that.
No. It's a miracle
Can
Arnold
you imagine
Schwarzenegger
if
wasn't
Arnold
like...
never recovered from that dropkick?
Imagine if that killed him. Like, it knocked him over, like, snapped his neck on the landing.
His neck hit a very well-placed rock on the ground.
It was like an indoor event. It was a brick that had, like, a Mobile Strike ad on it. His head...
Arnold, like, violated his contracts.
They took him down. Yeah, they sent in like the mobile striker to hit him with the mobile drop kick. He goes, oh, and then he fumbles. This brick hits right on like his temple. He goes, ugh.
The last thing he sees, like last split second of his life, he sees the mobile strike ad. He like knows who's done it to him.
He just sees like that. He sees like the guy who just kicked him like flossing over his body as his vision fades to black. Then his like vision starts fading back to white. And he's out at the pearly gates. But you know, like they decide he can't go in. He already like sold his soul to Mobile Strike. Damn it. I'm going to hell. And it's like funny too because those I think like those style of games are honestly like gone now. They're kind of like obsolete. I think it kind of started with Clash of Clans or like something similar, and then everybody did that format where it's like a base builder type game where you have like a limited amount of energy to like do things. And that's what everyone did because that was just like the best thing to do. And now every single type of like bullshit game now is either like a runner where you get like two options, like one that just you win or you lose. And the ads always show the guy like running through like the lose gate. It's like, oh, this game's so hard, you know, try for yourself. And these get crazier and crazier, like, you know, like a woman, you know, going through the gates and she gets like a fatter ass every time she like eats food. And then she farts to propel herself over like a huge gap. It's not even about gameplay, just being as crazy as possible. I do wonder what the end all is. Like, what is the final variation of the monetized, like iOS game or like mobile game?
What do you mean?
Like, what would be the perfect monetization? Like, what's like the end all of like the final evolved form of the horribly monetized mobile game? I think I know what it would be. But I don't know if you have an idea.
The only thing that's coming to mind, I don't know if you remember when that Harry Potter mobile game got put up.
Vaguely.
And it was a pretty big controversy because pretty much to do anything in that game, you had to pay money. Like to progress the story, to do the daily missions or whatever, you had to pay money. So that whole game was like a multiple payment thing to do. That's the only thing that's coming to mind for me though.
I think the ultimate form would be like an app where just like a button on it, and every time you press the button, you know, like a number goes up, and the whole point is just to beat the leaderboards at having the highest number. But every time you press it, you watch an ad. I think people would like unironically download that. That's all it takes. Maybe like give it like a little bit of flair. Like maybe like it says something funny every time you press the button. I don't know like what it would be though, but that would definitely be like what people are being primed to play in like 10 years. Make it as simple as possible. Maximize the amount of money. It's because I think people learned that no one really wants to buy shit. Like even like the smallest stuff. Like I don't want to buy, you know, I don't want to spend 99 cents to buy like 100 crystals so I can do like one extra thing in your shitty game. People would rather watch an ad if it means like getting that same thing done. And I think that's what people are like finally figuring out. And that's why all of these shitty games are all just like nothing but ads every 5 seconds. You die, you watch an ad. You win, you watch an ad. And like most of them have finally caught on, and they don't let you activate airplane mode anymore. They say like you must be connected to the internet to play. Even for these games that have zero like multiplayer. You're like sick people, but you know, I gotta respect the entrepreneuring spirit. If I knew how to make an iOS game, I would be doing that.
So I have a bit of a story.
Let's hear it.
So, well, you know that I was on vacation recently.
Yes.
It's just a short retelling of my time on the flight. The first thing was like the flight to Dallas, and there was really nothing to mention too much about it other than like the person that I was sitting next to was like this old woman, right?
Yes.
And she seemed like a nice person for the most part, but then like when we were getting close to landing, like the final descent or whatever, she started going through her phone, and like she was holding it in a place that I could clearly see what was on it. And she went to her clock app, and she went to her alarms, and she had an alarm set like every half hour of the day. And every single one was like a prayer. And it wasn't like just some random like generic shit. It was like it had the names of people that she knew, and it was like pray for this person. Just every like half hour of the day.
It was like the prayers very seriously.
Weirdest fucking shit I ever seen. I also think she might have been like a drug addict too, because she was the way she was like moving around in her seat. She just seems like weird.
She was fidgeting.
Just like fell asleep like completely upright at one point. So I was trying to like get up to go piss, and I was like you know like sorry, like I need to like step out, and like she just like didn't respond, and I kind of like leaned over and looked, and her eyes were completely shut. That was fucking scary.
I mean, how else is she like supposed to sleep?
I don't know, with like her back like against the fucking chair behind her.
Oh, so that's what you mean? Like she was actually like sitting up.
Yeah.
And maybe she was just like really into like meditation or something. She had crossed over into the spirit world. Can't move her body.
So after that, I landed in Dallas. And you know, if the airport of a city is anything to judge that city off, Dallas must be the worst fucking city in the country. And I think it is fair to say that the airport is what I can judge it off of, because in the Dallas airport, they play over like the loud system of the whole airport, like a message from the mayor of the city, who's like I hope like this airport gives you a good indication of what our city is all about. Because I landed in Dallas, and like my water that I had bought here had like run out, so I needed to buy a new thing of water. So I go to like the first convenience store in like the airport terminal, and I go to their drink section, and you know they have all like the sugary shit that like I don't care about. I like was looking for something to hydrate, and I go to that section, and there's two options. They have Dasani, and they have Powerade.
Wonderful.
And I'm like, I'm not drinking either of these, because that is just fucking awful. So I go to the... Go on.
I was like one's salt water, the other is like kidney stone making cream.
Yeah. So I go and I just like walk over to like the next convenience store, and I go to their drink section. And what do they have? They have Dasani and Powerade. I kept going to every single convenience store. I walked to the end of the terminal. Every single store had Dasani and Powerade. I turned around. I walked in the opposite direction to the other end, past like my gate to the other end of the terminal, and it was the same shit. Every single store, they only had Dasani and Powerade. So I ended up having to fucking buy a Powerade just to like drink something. But if the airport is anything to base the city off of, the people of Dallas must just be like these horrible like swamp people. Because I can't imagine a place that just has Dasani.
You look out the windows of the airport terminal, and there's like,
It's just Far Harbor from Fallout 3.
Yeah, you know, yeah, that's probably about right. I was gonna make like an even more dumb comparison and just say like you'd see some like Egyptian enforcer like whipping a bunch of people, like pulling a giant crate of Powerade like on logs. They build their shrine to the two most like, you know, mid drinks ever put in the circulation.
I wouldn't even say mid. It's like far worse than mid. And we need to, I think, we need to take a clear stand here. There is a clear difference between different waters that are available, and Dasani is by far the worst water that a human can drink.
Yes.
Like if I could be stranded in the Sahara Desert, like actually dehydrating, baking in the sun. If there was a plane that was like, I don't know, like SpongeBob, like we gotta drop the load, and they dropped like a whole pallet of Dasani water, I would not drink it. I would rather like die in the desert. Dasani water is the worst shit on the planet, and the fact that like the Coca-Cola company can sell it, that's criminal. Smart Water is also fucking terrible. Smart Water is owned by the same company, and it's basically the same water.
I'm not drinking any flavored water unless I'm personally like adding like lemon to my own like water at home. I'm not gonna buy like flavored water from another source. I'm not gonna drink Powerade. I'm not gonna drink energy drinks. Dasani is just bottom of the barrel for, I mean, really almost any category of drinking. I don't want to drink fucking salt water. Like I'm drowning in the ocean. I'll just settle with normal water. And that's like mostly like what all I drink now anyway, so.
I still don't know why they have Powerade of all things.
Yeah, that's not something, I guess maybe like not something that we typically see. I guess like the Powerade lobby is just absolutely massive over there. Like big Powerade can secure its seats in other places, just not here. I mean, it's probably the same deal with like food maybe in some places. You're only like just limited to the shittiest forms of eatery. Except now I think about it, it's pretty much all just like the same fast food anyway. So I don't know, like it would. If I was just thinking like, what would be like the worst, like bottom of the barrel for like fast food? And I'm thinking Quiznos. Just as like maybe not necessarily even like bad. It's just that they're so irrelevant that they honestly shouldn't exist as a corporate entity anymore.
I don't think they have too many places left. They have like a few hundred at most.
That's probably pushing it. I would guess like maybe sub 100, like maybe like 90, like maximum. There's no way that like they would stay afloat, considering how competitive like Subway and like now like other places are. Maybe like Publix, like in the South, like Jersey Mike's.
Publix is a grocery brand mostly though.
Yeah, but like they have like they're like kind of like famous for having like sandwich making inside their buildings.
I think by far the worst like popular fast food place has to be Burger King.
Yes.
Because like you have the big three: Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King. The fact that Burger King is even in that list is a mystery to me. Burger King is awful.
Yeah.
And I don't know how people eat that.
It's always listed third for a reason. No one's ever gonna say Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's.
But like, why is it even in the top three?
because it just has to be.
Why can't it be something else?
I mean, I guess like what other place has like that much of an international presence that like sells the same type of like
Does
food
Burger
fare?
King have an international presence though? Like McDonald's definitely does, but I don't really know about Wendy's or Burger King.
I mean, at least like within the United States, like you're gonna see Burger Kings like all over the country. Same thing with Wendy's.
But why? Why is Burger King so popular
I don't
when
know.
they have horrible food?
I don't know. I mean, look at how, you know, that fucking airport terminal get away with only selling Powerade and Dasani, you know, even though it's just like all you got. If you make sure, you know, that you're in the area, people are gonna say like, ah, fuck. I mean, I guess I gotta eat Burger King now. You're gonna grit your teeth and like eat that garbage.
Other than that, go on.
Because at least McDonald's and Wendy's have the courtesy to like make it tasty garbage.
At least Wendy's feels kind of like normal food when you eat it. McDonald's just has like the McDonald's charm.
Yeah, like the negative McDonald's aura.
But I don't like Burger King does not bring anything to the table.
No. And they don't need to. They'll probably slip into, you know, corporate bankruptcy within our lifetimes.
Hopefully. Now, other than that, the worst like fast food place that I can think of, just in terms of like overall everything, is probably Checkers.
Yeah.
Their food really
guess
doesn't
so.
taste that good. It's like incredibly greasy. Like the buildings that they always are in just look kind of gross.
That's how I feel about Five Guys.
Really?
Yes.
I haven't had Five Guys in a long time, but I did think that their burgers were good. I mean, I know you had the experience with them.
Yeah, it's just because like they
I
were
don't know if
like
you want to recount that.
I will,
Your main reason here.
because when I first ever got on the Five Guys, that was kind of around the time when they were like just starting to like hit it big, and like everyone was talking about Five Guys, like, oh, Five Guys like so fucking good. So we really got hyped up around this time, and me and my family, we went there, and the food was like all right. We didn't think it was like spectacular or anything. It was like incredibly greasy, and we had got like a cup of fries, and we look at the fucking fry cup, and at the bottom it was this massive, like, this was not like one piece of hair, it was a wad of hair, like someone picked up the fucking, like, what was left in the shower drain, let it dry overnight, and then just shoved it at the bottom of the cup. Like, I can't imagine how that got there. And like how someone put that in the cup without noticing. I don't know what steps had to be made, but it was fucking disgusting, and I could hardly even eat after like seeing that. And that's like, we never went back since. And now like me and my family, like, we joke about it every time we like, if Five Guys ever gets brought up, that story will be brought up. That is just unacceptable. I've never had a food place do anything quite like that. There's only one other thing I can think of, when I had gone to Applebee's one time, and I think on the celery platter they offer with the wings, they were covered in dirt, like they had just plucked them out of the fucking ground.
Famous like Applebee's backyard garden. Like,
Yeah, I mean, maybe I should be like giving them credit for the freshness, but you don't, like, why are they not like rinsed? Why do they have fucking dirt on them?
I never had anything like that happen. My dad did have something like that though, but once again it was with Checkers. He got like a chicken sandwich, I think, and he had the precognition to not bite into it, and instead he pulled like the skin off of it, like the crispy skin off, and underneath the crispy skin, the chicken meat was just completely raw. Just straight up like pink, like raw. Uncooked completely, and he was just disgusted.
I've probably had that happen maybe like once, like with like a burger. It's cooked on the
Sure you didn't
outside.
just order it rare.
No, I never order just rare. I always go medium rare, but this shit was like literally only
Like
cooked on the
blue?
outside. Yeah, this shit was like practically blue. Like, it was like squishy. It was like cooked on the outside. It was like squishy ground meat on the inside. That is just unacceptable. I hate that shit. I always have bad luck when it comes to
Hate it. Anyway.
what was that?
You ate it anyway?
No, I didn't like eat it anyway. Just like when I took that first bite, I realized that something was fucking wrong.
You say I hate that shit?
Yeah, I said I hate
It
that
sounded
shit.
like you said I ate that shit.
It didn't stop me. I really dug in. But I used to have really bad luck with soda at restaurants. It seemed like 1 out of every 5 times that I would ask for a soda, I would only get like...
The seltzer?
Yeah. And like it only happened to me. I would get pissed because, you know, like you can't, like I get Sprite like for the most part when I go out to restaurants, so if it's just a seltzer, it's like hard to tell without drinking it. You can't tell that it's just the seltzer. It's still just, you know, fucking white carbonated drink. And then, you know, I'm drinking, I, you know, put my mouth up to the straw, I start drinking it without, like, much of a care in the world, and then that taste hits me, and everything just turns sour. Like, it's like ruined it.
At least when you're at the restaurant, though, you can just tell, like, the waiter or waitress that your drink sucks and you can send it back.
Yeah. I've actually had an occasion where we did that, and it came back as seltzer again. He's like, don't fucking bother. But I don't think that's happened in a long, long time, which, like, maybe places are finally, like, swapping out their old soda fountains or something, or maybe, like, the bad luck just finally moved away from me, went to someone else. But now, when it comes to bad luck, it's all pretty much moved on to, like, my family instead of me at the restaurants. I bring it up with them every now and then on how I always seem to be the only one who's happy with my meal. Everyone else, like, they always, like, order something, and they're like, oh, you know, that wasn't too good. You know, I wasn't really happy with it. I didn't get what I wanted. They missed this. They missed that. And it's just, like, it's such negativity.
Picky bastards.
Yeah, I mean, I bring that up sometimes. Like, it's, like, sometimes it's, like, pickiness, but it also comes down to,
Purposefully ordering something you don't like so you can complain about it.
not even that. Like, sometimes it is the fault of the place, but usually when, like, we order food, you know, it's like a big gathering. It's like me, my parents, like grandparents, and, you know, we'll order food, and it's like that's a lot of food to keep track of, like, over the phone if you're, like, ordering it like that. So, like, it makes sense that they're naturally gonna, like, fuck something up, so we have to, like, check it. But, like, if we're, like, actually at a restaurant, there's a lot of cases where someone's gonna say, like, oh, you know, this really wasn't too good. And I'm just thinking, like, crazy. Like, what I got here is still great. Makes me, like, feel bad. What can you do, though? But I guess in terms of, like, eating and, you know, shit being fucked up, what would you say is, like, the worst thing you've ever eaten?
Like, just...
Like, period.
Are you talking about, like, something that got fucked up, or
Period.
something that was just normal and just sucked?
Whatever you want to bring up.
Worst thing I've ever eaten.
I know exactly what mine is.
Why don't you go first?
It was a
'Cause
piece.
I'm trying to think here.
It was a single piece of cat food. I think
Like
I
a
ate,
little, like, kibble?
yes. I ate it on a dare, I think, when I was, like, maybe 10, and that was just the most disgusting thing that had ever, like, entered my body. That thing was not designed with human anatomy in mind. It was this awful taste. It was stuck on my tongue. It was, like, in my stomach for the rest of, like a day and a half. And I cannot recommend that. This is... My second place was one of those, I mean, you obviously remember this, those fucking, like, disgusting jelly beans that were, like, a fad, like, years ago.
I was thinking about bringing those up, but I was like, that's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd have to,
Those
like,
are meant to be bad.
yeah, but still, like, I always joke that I could still taste that dirty diaper jelly bean if I think about it to this day.
On a similar note, there was a time when me, my dad, and my brother all, like, took a bite out of, like, some sort of, like, dog treat. Because it was one of those ones that's made with, like, actual, like, animal meat.
Yes.
And we were all like...
Can't be
like,
too bad.
Like, this is, like, our dog's favorite thing. Like, what does it taste like? So, like, we all took, like, a little piece of it. It tasted like nothing. It was just, like, chewing on, like, this weird jerky. And it just had no flavor at all. And we're like, it's not bad. It's just weird. Like, and why does this dog love it so much? Like...
I don't know. Just... Animals got different taste buds. They can... maybe they can actually, like, taste that shit. Or maybe, like, the taste of nothing is, like, better than the regular food. That maybe like all the actual like animal food just tastes like garbage, but it's all they got.
I think it has to, because like whenever I open a bag of like dog food to feed a dog, like when I smell it, it makes me like queasy. Smelling that shit, I do not like the smell of dog food, and I don't know why, but it's just this weird thing. I can't imagine that like it tastes good at all. But dogs like love it for some reason.
No. If it's anything similar to the cat food, it's gonna be like the same boat. It's gonna like taste nearly as bad as it smells, and I can't recommend that.
Wet cat food is it is almost the same as like it should essentially be the same as canned tuna because that's usually what it is, but it just has this fucking disgusting smell to it.
Yeah,
like it smells like rotten tuna.
And it does. I wouldn't go as far as saying rotten tuna, at least for the ones like we have, but yeah, it does have like a weird smell. It should just like I'm sure there's some like monetary like incentive for them to just not make it straight up tuna, like make it some like mix of things. That way you can sell your tuna and also like make extra by selling like the scraps and mixing it with something else to make it cat food. Just opening up your fucking production line, but that's just more profitability. And is that not what we always end up discussing in the end? Like that's become the new thing where we talk about just like weird practices or like evil, malicious practices for the sake of getting money. And how come we aren't just, selling our soul to do that?
We still have a conscience.
For now. We still got that consciousness until someone's waving like, like a big stack of Benjamins in our face.
I'm still like trying to like I'm still talking about trying to think about the worst thing I've ever eaten. Why can't I think of anything?
I mean, do you have it like on the do you like kind of vaguely like know what you're trying to bring up?
I have no idea.
Because I think a tasteless dog food I don't think that would exactly count.
Like yeah, like that was not the worst. I only brought it up because you mentioned eating cat food.
Yeah, just like that was a taste so bad that I actually don't remember what it tastes like anymore. Unlike the jelly bean,
you blocked it out.
Yeah, like that's
like
was bad.
Horrible experience.
That my brain does not want me to relive that. I was never one to like skimp out from trying new foods. Like I'll like always like not to imply that cat food is a fucking food to try, but just like food in general. Like I'm not picky when I might be like a relatively picky eater, but at least I always try the food before I fucking eat it.
Yeah, I will generally try everything once you live. The only things that don't make it onto the list are bugs and like Rocky Mountain oysters or just any like animal genitalia at all.
Yeah,
those are the only things that I never eat.
That's fair. Animal genitalia. You wouldn't eat like two like big sloppy bull testicles like laid on a plate.
That's what Rocky Mountain oysters are.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. I don't know if you could put two and two together that there aren't really oysters in the Rockies.
No, I mean I just figured it would be like some other stupid type of food. I'd imagine it would be like bull testicles in particular. Like, who brings himself there's like eat testicles?
Freak.
Like I don't care how good it is. It's like seeing those videos of those people that cut open like cow stomachs. They just eat like the cooked grass cud. Yeah, it's just like grass cud mixed with feces, and they just cook it and they eat it, and they're fine with it.
It's even worse. They don't just eat the straight up shit. They like put it into like soup.
Yeah, they strain
and it,
it out.
Flavors the food that they're eating.
Like it's one thing to like remove the grass cud, but it's another to specifically strain out the stomach acid mixed with like the fecal juice and put that into like a soup. And there's another thing to like see people make food in like those regions where they just put it on the floor and like mash it with their feet and hands. And they just put it right in a package and sell it in like a bazaar somewhere. No one fucking knows any better. And it makes you think, are they any better for doing things like that? Like, do they have stronger immune systems because they're just eating nothing but fucking disgusting, like, hand and foot food? I'd like to imagine no.
Yeah, you know, you gotta think about it, because, you know, on one side they're eating this disgusting shit, and it's like making them stronger, boosting their immune system, and then on our side we eat animals that are just pumped full of steroids and antibiotics, so we're getting like the same strength.
I guess so. It's like two different layers of like disgusting like shit, because in the West, like when you have fucked up food, it's usually gonna be like bits of metal or like plastic that ended up in the like actual production process, like in the factory. And then meanwhile you go out to somewhere in Central Asia, and they're just like stepping on dough to make pizza on the floor, and like that's what gets served to you when you're like a tourist eating some local flavor. It's, pick your poison, because they're both quite literally poison.
The one video though that always gets me is the one with like the Indian guy that has like his one arm is partially amputated, so he's flattening like the non-dough using his armpit. You know which one I'm talking about?
I think I do.
That one always grosses me the fuck out.
The guy is making some kind of taffy, and he keeps like throwing it up against the brick wall, and it clearly like sticks to like a fly at some point. He just keeps going.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, the ones where they just stick their full like hand like up to their arm into some kind of like soup and start stirring it around like that, like that's just so fucking nasty. And they don't see anything wrong with it, because like even if they personally wouldn't eat food that's prepared like that, in their minds they're probably thinking like the people buying it aren't gonna like be thinking about the process, so like I have nothing to lose by doing this. Like even in their heads, like wouldn't it just be easier to use like a fucking spoon? Like the arm hair must really add extra flavor. I couldn't imagine doing that. Like even if it was for the sake of swindling people out of money, like even like just like a humorous endeavor to get money out of someone's wallet, I could not bring myself to make food in that manner. It's just like too nasty.
It's like seasoning a pan, but instead of that, they're like seasoning their arm every time they put it in, carrying the flavors over to the next pot.
I hate that shit. Then meanwhile you go to like Japan or something, and food is just like prepared in like next level futuristic ways. Get everything you ever want, like vending machines or just restaurants that bring your food to you on like a conveyor belt, and like not even just like sushi conveyor restaurants, but ones that'll like you order something on like an iPad and then it'll just like shoot the food at you on like a high-speed conveyor. You just take it.
Dude, did you see that video? You might have seen it in the group. That video of the it was a Korean fishmonger butchering that like huge fish, but like he didn't kill it before he started, so the thing's still moving. He like completely guts it and like takes it apart while it's still alive. Did you see that?
I had not seen that.
That shit was insane, and everyone in the comments is pissed off about it because the thing is very clearly still kicking. Cuts open its gut, pulls all the organs out. The thing's still alive. I don't know how.
Wait, is this one with the whale shark?
No.
Okay, because I know about that one.
This is like a fish that's like the size of like a table.
Okay.
Or like a cutting board, more or less.
It's just like for the audience here, there is a video of people doing the same thing to a live whale shark, where they're like sashimiing the fucking thing, and the thing's mouth is like as it's like cut in like 10 pieces. It's like the most fucked up thing I've like seen like that.
This one was on that level because the guy like cuts a whole fillet off of the side of it and it's still alive. So like a solid quarter of its body is missing, and it's still like flopping and like moving its mouth and shit.
A real like halal kill.
Not even. It's like halal, like you like bleed it out and let it die. Like this guy did not do that. He just started pulling it apart. I don't even know how the fucking fish was still alive, because you think once all of its organs are out, it might live for another like 10 seconds if it's lucky, without like the ability to circulate blood. But like that thing was, this is like a 7-minute long video, and that fish is alive the entire time.
Yeah, like honestly, like the amount of energy that's left in like a brainstem like even after you're like medically dead, is like kind of impressive. Like, even though you're like 100% dead, it's pretty much just your nerves acting like out at that point. It's definitely not something you'd ever want to experience. Fishmonger, that's a... I was, you know, just like hearing like the end, like the affix of monger is always funny to me. Because, you know, I'm just immediately gonna think of like a warmonger, like someone who mongers, and just like a fishmonger is just really stupid to me.
There's a fishmonger, not a warmonger of the ocean.
Not exactly.
He has an unending war against fish for his entire life.
I guess that's something you can call it.
Yeah.
Like, is that genuinely, like, I don't doubt it. Is that a real term for that, like,
Fishmonger?
particular? Is that like the name of that
Yeah.
profession?
Yeah, that's what you would call it.
I just figured it'd still just go down to like maybe like a butcher.
Fisherman? Well,
Well,
I've
the
never seen-
fisherman.
I've never seen fish at a butcher. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It's because the fisherman's the guy who brings it to those people.
Yeah, the fishmonger's the one that like pulls it apart and packages it and sells it.
He's the one who like has to like
He's
actually
basically
like, fillet
a
it and
butcher.
cut it.
He's a butcher for fish.
Fishmonger's a very funny term. like imagine if you were like a cowmonger instead of a butcher. That's what I would call myself. I'd be the cowmonger. What does the affix monger specifically mean?
Let's find out.
I'm gonna look this up. Affix monger. I need to know. A dealer or trader? So a warmonger just deals in war?
I guess so.
A variety of terms exist of persons who sell goods, such as cheesemonger, coastermonger, fishmonger, and ironmonger.
I like the cheesemonger.
Yeah, the cheesemonger. The form can disseminate, for people who promote or disseminate something, newsmonger, warmonger, scaremonger, fearmonger, powermonger, or smutmonger. Smutmonger. I deal
What
in
do you have
smut.
to do to be a smutmonger?
You just distribute like pornography. That's what it have to be. You distribute smut. You're the smutmonger.
Back in the old days, people used to refer to me as the smutmonger. People used to refer to me as the sexmonger.
Not anymore. That's like really dumb. I'd like really never known that. I'd never like you saying fishmonger is a first for me. I've never heard like that term.
You've never heard fishmonger before?
If I have, my brain like put it out.
That's insane. How have you never heard that?
I've never seen it written down. I've never seen anybody refer to that like as a fishmonger. I've seen videos of people like preparing fish, like filleting them in those types of like places. I've never seen that word. Never heard it. I'm sure I'll certainly start seeing it now though. That's always how it works.
That is insane for reasons that I can't really bring up here.
Alright. You're sure to like lay it on me after we're done here.
Yeah.
I guess there was one other thing I wanted to bring up. I guess along the same, same vein of just like asking, like, where should you've eaten? What about pet peeves?
Like just general pet peeves.
Yeah, what's like the shit that just like always like pisses you off?
When people don't use their blinkers when driving, that's a big one.
Okay.
I fucking hate that. Whether they're merging or turning or what, it fucking pisses me off.
I would say some of my biggest ones are if like I'm sitting somewhere, like if I'm sitting in some kind of like public place or like a restaurant, and I'm like placed into some kind of like stool instead of a booth for like, I'm kind of like elevated off the ground, my legs are dangling. If someone like hits my foot and it makes me like have that knee-jerk reaction, I fucking hate that. That's like somehow like at the top of my pet peeves. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
I really don't.
you've ever had like your feet like dangling because you're put up on like a big stool, and then someone else like maybe like bumped into your foot and it made your like leg jump?
Not really.
Well, you're very lucky, because that like happens to me. And I fucking hate it. I'd say the next thing I definitely hate is when people are reading something out loud and they don't bother trying to like sound out the word and they just skip it. Everybody who's ever done that, you're a huge pussy.
It's especially damning when you're in like a college class.
Oh yeah.
And people are doing that. Like, you're in your 20s, dude. How can you not say a 3-syllable word?
Yeah, or like not even like attempt to pronounce it. And I will, you know, I'm not even like afraid to say it. It's like 99% women that do this.
It was so bad too when I was in class, because like they would sit there, they'd get to the word, they wouldn't do what you said and like skip it. They just would stop. And then like eventually like the professor would say the word for them.
I've never seen it that bad. That's fucking embarrassing. I've only ever seen them just like skip the word. I always sounded it out. I mean, if I like, that'd be like in a rare occasion where like I genuinely didn't know that word or like hadn't heard it before. Like, God help me if I had to see like that fishmonger like written down. At least I'd know how to pronounce it. It's really like, I mean,
you know, a pretty good pet peeve, when you're trying to do shit in the kitchen and someone else walks into the kitchen and starts doing shit too.
I got limited space in here.
That is a very big pet. Like you gotta put something in the fridge and then they go to the fridge and then you just have to stand there and wait. Like there is a unreal amount of rage that I feel when shit like that happens.
They're like standing there waiting for you to make your next moves just so they can like intercept you.
Yeah.
I also hate being jostled awake. Well, to be fair, I can't imagine like there'd be very few people that would enjoy that. I think that'd be almost anybody's pet peeve.
How often are you getting jostled awake?
It's not like it's something that's happening every single day, but it's just like as something that's happened in the past, like something that I've told like you know, people that I don't like, and they still continue to do it. It's like, come on now. Like, how simple is the whole, like, you know, I wouldn't do to you what you wouldn't do to me. It's, you know, I guess maybe that's ironic that I bring up such a thing, because, like, what are we discussing nonstop about? Just like
doing horrible things to people.
Yeah, but you know, it all comes to a stop when it reaches back to us again. That's where I draw the line. You know, at least our humor of awful things happening to people are only in jest, and they only exist on paper. We're not actually evil yet. We're not actually supervillains. I'm practically out of like shit I even gotta bring up.
Yeah, I think I am too. Still trying to think of horrible food, to be honest.
I mean, do you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.